Squishies. Welcome back to another vlog. This is Dirty Pair, Season 1, Episode 20. Nostalgic Blues is a killer soundtrack. Commission vlog for Bennett Jackson. Thanks for backing, Bennett. So, this was a pretty solid one. Nothing in it really made me go, oh wow, that's amazing. But it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all. It was fun. A little bit light on the humor, but decent action. And I actually really liked the gag near the beginning that they were not allowed to stay in the hotel they were booked at because they made the other customers uncomfortable because of their reputation. That's actually one of the funniest uses of their, dirty pair reputation that the show has had in a while. So I really appreciated that. My main beef with the episode, interestingly, is also the coolest part of the episode, which is Blues. The cyborg assassin, who is awesome. But his badassery really comes at the expense of Kay and Yuri. They're basically irrelevant to this episode, which is really about Blues' path of revenge. It feels like... Kay and Yuri are always kind of dropping in on other people's stories and then... having their adventures in them. But it's usually them having their adventures, which in some way impacts the other person's story. Or the other character, whatever story they dropped into, Like, going back again to episode 8, which is still my favorite episode of the series, that's a story about two lovers running away from the bigoted father of one of them who is trying to break them apart. But Kay and Yuri enter that story and are instrumental to it and, are the main agents that bring about its resolution. Because it's their show. This was more like Kay and Yuri are just kind of there, while Blues, the super cool, cyborg assassin, does everything. Except, I guess, saving the train at the end. Which, honestly, I expected whatever they did to save the train to end up backfiring and causing the hotel to be blown up anyway. Because, dirty pair? But I guess this was one of the ones where they actually don't cause a ton of collateral damage. Yeah. The other odd thing about Blues is, one, why is he named Blues? His mother was a blues singer, okay. But why blues? Why that particular genre of music? I don't really get, was it a reference to something I didn't catch? Or, I don't know. And, the villain of this one was really flat. This show has had some pretty fun villain characters in the past. But this one was just kinda there. It's like, hello, I am evil Colonel Sanders. I killed the elite assassin's mom because reasons. I don't think we ever find out why this guy would murder a woman and why I was specifically throwing her into the volcano. And plus, it's yet another dead mom. And it's like, characters can have other motivations. Even in the 80s, that was already tired. Um, like, characters can have other motivations, other backstories. Mothers can have functions other than being dead to motivate their sons. Uh, even some really good series pull that shit, Even some of my favorites, Full Metal Alchemist, um, Revolutionary Girl Lieutenant, Neon Genesis Evangelion. These are all anime where the main character's mother is dead, and that's a motivator. I think out of my favorites, out of the ones I usually put out there as my 5 favorite anime, the only one who has a living, present, active mother to the main character, and in fact, an incredibly rare case, an anime character with 2 living parents who are active in their lives and both appear to be competent parents, is Madoka Magica. Madoka's parents are awesome. Her mom is possibly the best mother in all of anime. She's a serious contender for it. The only reason her dad isn't is because, blanking on his first name, but Kinomoto, Sakura's dad from Cardcaptor Sakura, exists and is like the amazing super dad. By the way, there's another series with a dead mom. It's a subset of Phrygian, but it's a distressingly common one that almost entirely happens in backstories. So the mom never gets to be a character at all. Oh, Princess Tutu also doesn't have parents, but that's a slightly different story because she wouldn't have parents, really. They're not relevant. Yeah. That rant aside, there was one thing I unequivocally loved about this episode, and that is the setting. I was a little surprised, the description of it mentioned a volcano planet, and I was like, okay, volcano planets are a little cool, but then when I watched it, I was like, why didn't the episode call it the fire-breathing dinosaur planet? Because, volcanic planets are probably everywhere. We've got a couple here in the solar system. We don't have any fire-breathing dinosaur planets. There can't be anywhere near as many of those. And that's just awesome. And frankly, fire-breathing dinosaurs plus volcanoes is metal as fuck. That's rad. I want more adventures on that planet. Preferably with more interesting villains than Colonel Sanders McEvil. It's the most generic. We never get a motivation for him to kill the mother at all. We never get an explanation for why his money-making scheme is something so bizarrely convoluted. The only thing I can think of, between the bomb on the train tracks and the Western elements and murdering the woman for no reason, is that he's the episode is referencing the really old Western serials, Perils of Pauline and stuff like that. That he's the mustache twirling villain who ties women to train tracks. But mixing that with, the vengeful assassin and the Colonel Sanders, I don't know, that just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But, maybe I'm missing something. Or maybe it's just a weird episode. Like I said, it's not bad. It was entertaining while I watched it. And the setting is awesome. But I don't like the degree to which Kei and Yuri were, just kind of tagging along in this one. And I really don't like the bathroom sequence, because frankly, it's played a little rapey. Some of the like things that Yuri shouts, or not Yuri, that Kay shouts, are like. I feel like it's playing. You know, when she yells at, you know, like she's still a pure maiden or whatever it was, and like screams for Yuri to help her while Yuri just walks off. Like, that's gross. And it didn't have to be that way, you know? She could have, you know, they could have found ways to make it work without exploding. Although, frankly, like, that seems like something that a police force should consider before locking people together with unbreakable handcuffs. Or handcuffs that can't be broken without killing at least one of them. So that seemed like kind of putting an icky pall on the rest of the episode. But it was still alright overall. And, you know, I was looking at the episode list because, you know, watching these once a month, I sometimes lose track of where I am. So I looked up the episode list on Wikipedia and started reading the descriptions to see, you know, what's the last one that I recognize the description. Because then I would want to watch the next one. And I noticed the next 3 episodes, like, Wikipedia has them lumped together with one description. So I think we've got, like, a 3-parter next, which is really interesting. Show hasn't really done arcs prior to this, so I'm actually really looking forward to that. But I guess I will start that next week. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Check out my Patreon for early access to videos, essays, and more. And I will see you all next time. Bye.